What's good, HEXO traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Sunday, June 12th. Hope you're having a great weekend. In this short video, I'm going to discuss HEXO Corp and when are our Q3 earnings. I'm seeing a few different dates circulating online. Not sure where they came from, but I want to come on and give my thoughts and opinions. We haven't seen anything official yet from HEXO either, so we'll discuss this. I did a video on HEXO recently and ended up going a little bit longer. When I tend to do live streams, they go a little long, and a couple of people were asking if I could do a little bit of a shorter video, so that's the purpose of this video today. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me on the channel, doesn't cost you anything. You can subscribe and tick the bell and you'll be notified on any future updates. Also, one other housekeeping item, I may not be as active this week and next week. My parents are coming to visit Alberta from the East Coast. So expect some updates with regards to the Tilray deal. That is expected for Tuesday. And I'll also be covering their earnings as well. And I'll be doing some videos periodically through the week. So make sure to tick the bell and subscribe. You'll be notified when I go live or post the next video. But if you go to hexocorp.com, you can just check underneath CDR filing. That will be when the earnings will be released. But I'm not expecting it to be anytime soon because usually they let us know about a week or two in advance, and we haven't seen any communication of that yet. And if we take a look at CDR here, you'll see all of the documents. It will be listed. Sometimes it gets listed here before there's actually a press release, right? So you can check this CDR company profile as well if you want to just keep an eye out for those earnings and when we can potentially expect the results. Because like I said, they usually end up there first. But if we take a look at this circular, the shareholder approval meeting for Tilray, that was scheduled for June 14th. So in my opinion, I think we're likely going to see earnings delayed. Right now, it's tentative for June 15th. So at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on June 14th is the Tilray vote for shareholder approval and also the backstop equity program from Chaos Capital. I highly doubt that that's going to get voted against. I voted for in all three of my accounts, and I did a video on that as well. The voting for that was the deadline was June 10th, so that has been cut off. But taking a look at the estimates here on investing.com, you can see here the tentative date is June 15th. And again, this is just a tentative date that the analysts were forecasting. They're saying negative 0.45 on EPS estimates and 52.2 million in terms of revenue. So those are the estimates that we're going to be watching. That's in Canadian dollars. So you want to just keep an eye out when the results do come out, whether or not we beat those estimates. Obviously, if we beat those estimates, we're likely going to see a pretty big pop in the stock. But again, if the broader market is weak, which it has been, there's the possibility that we just give that whole move back, right? So again, I'm not paying too much attention to earnings right now. To be a completely different story if the broader market was stronger, if the MJ market was stronger. But we know that American companies, Canadian companies in MJ, also retailers, ETFs are all extremely bearish at the moment on monthly and weekly downtrends. So until that changes, I don't expect earnings to really carry that much weight, right? We may see a short-term bump, but then we're likely going to just pump and fade. We know that we need the whole sector to reverse something like safe banking, which is gaining traction. I think it has close to about an 80% chance of passing before the end of the year. Something I want to highlight, if you go to the Power Group community tab, if you just go Power Group, click on community, I do these posts every once in a while, and I posted from David George Kosh, BNN reporter. He posted these high fire figures, and this was just for the month of April. And HEXO came in at 33.6 million. I guess we can round it up to 33.7 million. Keep in mind that this is unadjusted, so it doesn't factor in excise taxes, things like that. So that would be a lot lower than that if we factor in all of the adjustments. But I did a video on that as well. High fire April 379 million and HEXO 33.7 million. I gave a little bit of a projection on what we can potentially expect, but I think that we're likely going to come in somewhere around the 55 million net for the quarter, which would mean that we would beat those estimates. Let me know in the comments below what you think the net revenue estimates are going to be. What do you think we're going to come in? Do you think we're going to beat? Do you think we're going to miss estimates? I always love hearing from you. The last quarter was 52.76, so they are expecting less than what we actually reported last quarter, which is a little interesting. But again, you can check out that video if you want to see more. I took some of the Statistics Canada data from February and March, and then with this information here from Highfire and BNN, we were able to kind of ballpark it, and I think it's going to be somewhere around 55 million to 60 million net. Again, let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. Again, we'll want to see official confirmation from HEXO when these earnings are going to be, but the fact that they told us that Tilray deal was going to be finalized in May, and then it got pushed out until the 14th was the shareholder approval meeting, which we just went over. So on Tuesday, that is going to be the Tilray deal vote and the Chaos Capital backstop vote as well. We should find out this week what those results are, and more than likely going to push the earnings back. Again, we usually see a week or two heads up from HEXO when to expect earnings, and we haven't seen that yet. So I would think that they're likely going, because the Tilray deal got delayed a little bit. We thought it was in May initially, and then it ended up being in mid-June. That tells me that we could potentially see earnings bumped out another week or two, and that would make sense, right? We would want to get Tilray positioned before the earnings come out, and something that we need to keep in mind as well is they told us on the 28th of April that we could see the CPG partner released in the coming months, and they said that they would be selling their first edible with that new CPG partner before the end of the summer. So they said it would be revealed in the coming weeks. Keep in mind, the Tilray deal got delayed a little bit, so again, that may have delayed the CPG partner news, and it could delay the earnings, right? We know everything that HEXO has said to this date, to this point, has come true. It's just been delayed, right? And something that we can expect after the earnings in the Tilray deal and the CPG partner is an entry into California. They said that Readies and gel caps would be coming through a special purpose vehicle, whereby it wouldn't be hitting HEXO's top and bottom line. It would actually be some sort of a special purpose vehicle or a joint venture where a company in the US that they partner with, somebody in California more than likely, as that's the market that they mentioned, they would report that on their financials. And then once federal legalization happens, HEXO would then gain control of about 80% of those assets. And then at that point, they would be able to report on their top and bottom line. But if we take a look at the time frame here, they said in the coming weeks, it has now been over 6 weeks. On Thursday, it was 6 weeks. So we're coming on 7 weeks now from the time that they said the CPG partner would be released in the coming weeks. And again, they said that it wouldn't be until the end of the summer, potentially the end of the summer, where their first edible is available. And we know that when HEXO partnered with Molson Coors, it took a little over 2 years from the time they announced the partnership to actually get those trust beverages and the product to market, right? So I think we're kind of on that same timeline. We found out about a year and a half or so ago that HEXO had signed a new CPG partner, a Fortune 200 partner. That's Molson Coors Caliber. And like I said, we're coming on around that 2-year area or that 2-year mark where we could potentially see products hit the SQDC by sometime between now and the end of summer, right? So again, everything that they said has come true to this point. It's just been a little bit delayed. And like I said, we should see the earnings delayed a little bit. Like I said, we should see, in my opinion, at some point, maybe this week or next week, communication from HEXO on when the earnings date is. And then we even have the potential for the CPG partner to be released in those earnings, maybe on the earnings call or shortly around that same time. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, though. But again, on TradingView, it says here June 15th as well. But again, I saw some people said June 14th. Maybe they were confusing it with the Tilray deal. But right now, it's tentative for June 15th. But like I said, because of everything getting delayed, I think there's a good chance that it gets delayed another week or two. And we could even potentially see CPG news come on that earnings call. That's what I'm going to be watching for. SPY did close at the low of the week last week, but we are holding key support here at 380. So the best case scenario for HEXO and the MJ Bulls this week is that SPY holds that support there at 380. If we lose 380, that's going to create even more panic and fear in the markets, and that's obviously going to be headwinds for the MJ space and HEXO specifically. If we take a look at the weekly time frame here as well, we have no nearby resistance until $1.47, which is the 50 weekly moving average. On the 10-week moving average, we have the 10-week there at 35 cents. So if we do see a bit of a positive reaction into this week into earnings, watch 35 cents as an immediate resistance. And we also have the 50-day moving average there at 38 cents. So I think it's going to be pretty hard to get over 40 cents, especially if we don't see any kind of tailwinds from the broader market. If we see weakness in the broader market, that isn't going to be good for MJ. We know that MJ has been very correlated to the broader market, not so much on the way up when the broader market's going up. HEXO's not really doing anything, or MJ's not really doing anything, but when the broader market is going down, like the S&P 500, we know that MJ has certainly been following, right? So again, want to see official confirmation from HEXO, but what I'm looking for is the Tilray deal to go through on Tuesday, and then communication from HEXO at some point this week, and then I'm more than likely going to be anticipating a delay in earnings, and then we could even see the CPG partner released on an earnings call. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Again, let me know what your net revenue projections are for these Q3 earnings. If you could smash a like one more time on your way out, help support me in the channel, and subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future updates. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video.